Okay, here we go. I got the HTC EVO 3D here. When you open it, it has the current weather. It checks automatically and updates, and you can set how often you want it to update. I'll show you where that is. And each one of these four things can be dragged into the circle to open them. So I'm going to open my email, and there's my Gizmo Slip email right there. And you can see that on my home button, I've got a widget taking up half of my screen. And to adjust that widget, I just hold it, and I can put it anywhere. I can move it underneath, I can put it on top, and I'm going to leave it where it is. You can also delete it by dragging down, and it's pretty awesome. Here's another widget. There's smaller widgets, different size widgets, obviously, and if you're not familiar with Android, this is kind of new to you probably because Apple doesn't have that. And you can see, like, here's a whole bunch of widgets that I put down on just a settings page. And half of it isn't filled because I haven't really found a good widget to put there. But I can activate my 4G hotspot, Bluetooth, GPS, my mobile network, Wi-Fi, turn it on to airplane mode, and adjust the brightness straight from just a flip screen over instead of having to go to the settings, which is pretty nice. This is a calendar widget. This is a music widget right here, so I can play music and pause music. Using that, I can activate and control Pandora just with a widget right there. Here's that's the HTC wheel right there. I'll show you that in a minute. This is a weather widget, news widget. You can select which news sources you want. It's just really awesome. Here's my apps, my main apps that I use. And if you want to select all your apps, you just select this button, and then you can flip through all your apps, which is pretty effective. I like the way this is set up. So you can just, if you want to have an app that you use more often, you just put it on your main apps page, or you make another apps page by deleting one of your widgets. And there's total of 7 pages. If you hit the home button twice, it shows you all 7 pages, so you can flip to the widget you want really fast. So settings, widget, whatever. And another way you can do it is just by flipping your finger really fast. This is just a cool way to see it because you can't really use this to select the page you want. It moves too fast. It's not accurate enough. Which is kind of a shame. And let's say I want to go to my settings, which I put in the main page here. And there's some handy dandy settings that I would definitely recommend you set so that your battery's life not killed. So I go into accounts and sync, and I have background data enabled. If you're desperate for more battery life, just turn background data off. Background data is the main reason that your phone battery dies when you're not actually using your phone. And there's some cool settings you can set in here. So I'm going to go into my mail for Gizmo Slip, and you can tell it to sync mail, yes, and you can tell it what schedule you want it to sync. You can tell it to sync every day, every hour, every 15 minutes, every 4 hours. You can tell it basically how often you want it to sync, which is pretty awesome. And it makes you so you can set, starting at 8 a.m. till 5 a.m. during the peak time, you can also set to check every half hour or every 5 minutes or on push. And then in the off hours to not have to have it set nearly as often, which is really handy for conserving battery life. And you can set that with all of the different accounts like Facebook. Like I have these ones set up to sync only once a day, my mail to sync every hour or half hour, news to sync up once a day, weather to sync up I think every 3 hours. So it used to be every hour on weather, but it just took up too much battery life, I felt like. The mail is actually really handy because you can go up here and select which accounts you want, and you can have it display all accounts at once. And so you can see that different accounts are colored differently, which allows you to see multiple YouTube accounts and break them down quickly and only look at the email that you're interested in. And you can also just look at a single bit of email, which is also really nice. So now, as far as battery life is concerned, I use this battery widget to help me know what takes up the most battery, and as you can see, display takes up almost all of it. So the time you actually use your phone with your display on is what's going to kill your battery life. And one way to extend battery life is by turning the display brightness way low, and that will definitely help extend your battery life by quite a bit. But at times you just can't see it, so that's why I definitely am always careful to turn the screen off every time I start and stop the device. Now, as far as the actual browsing, I use a Dolphin browser, which is pretty much a fully functional web browser, and it includes tabs, which the default browser does not. And so here's, I can open a new tab and go to it. Voila. It's pretty nice. I like it. I like this browser a lot more than the default browser, so I definitely recommend it. I can do a full review on that later if you guys would like. I guess that's my review of the HTC EVO operating system, and really it's the HTC Sense operating system. And it's nice. I like it. Whoa.